Hare Krishna, welcome to all devotees. Now we start today's Bhagavatam class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatah Jayam Udiret Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna Dandat Pranam. Today we continue chapter 3, Srimad Bhagwatam, Canto 12, Shloka number 26 to 34. Satvam Rajatama iti drishyante Purushe Gunaha Kala Sanchodita te Vai Parivartante Atmani Prabhavanti Yata Satve Manabuddhi Indriyani Cha Pada Kruta Yugam Vidyata Jnane Tapasi Yatruchi यदा कर्मसु कामेषु भक्तेषु सिद्धेन कदा त्रेता रजो वृत्तिति जाने बुद्धिमन यदा लोभतो संतोष मानः दम्भः तमत्सर कर्मणां चपि काम्यानां द्वापारं तत्प्रजतमः यदा मायानृतं तन्द्रा निद्रा हिंसा विषादनं शोकमोह भयं दैन्यं सकली तामस स्मृतः तस्मात् शूद्रदुष्यः मर्त्या शूद्रभाग्यामः अशनः कामिन वित्तहीनः च स्वैरिण्यः च श्रिय असति दस्य उत्कृष्टा जनपदा वेदा पाषण्डदूषिताः राजान च प्रजाभक्षा शिष्ण उदरपरा द्विजा अव्रता बटवा शौचा भिक्षव च कुटुंबिना तपस्विन ग्रामवासा न्यासीन अत्यर्थ लोलुपा रस्वकाया महाआरा भूरि अपत्याः गतर्यः शश्वत कटुक भाषिण्यः चौर्य माया उरु साहसा. Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The material modes, goodness, passion and ignorance, whose permutations are observed within a person's mind, are set into motion by the power of time. When the mind, intelligence, and senses are solidly fixed in the mode of goodness, that time should be understood as Satya Yuga, the age of truth. People then take pleasure in knowledge and austerity. O most intelligent one, when the conditioned souls are devoted to their duties, but have ulterior motives and seek personal prestige, you should understand such a situation to be the age of Treta, in which the functions of passion are prominent. When greed, dissatisfaction, false pride, hypocrisy, and envy become prominent, along with the attraction for selfish activities, such a time is the age of Dwapar, dominated by the mixed of modes of passion and ignorance. When there is a predominance of cheating, lying, sloth, sleeping, violence, depression, lamentation, bewilderment, fear, and poverty, that age is Kali, the age of the mode of ignorance. Because of the bad qualities of the age of Kali, human beings will become short-sighted, unfortunate, gluttonous, lustful, and poverty-stricken. The woman becoming unchaste will freely wander from one man to the next. Cities will be dominated by thieves. The Vedas will be contaminated by speculative interpretations of atheists. Political leaders will virtually consume the citizen, and the so-called priests and intellectuals will be devotees of their bellies and genitals. The brahmacharis will fail to execute their vows and become generally unclean. The householders will become beggars. The vadrasthas will live in the villages, and the sannyasis will become greedy for wealth. Women will become much smaller in size, and they will eat too much, have more children than they can properly take care of, and lose all shyness. They will always speak harshly and will exhibit qualities of thievery. deceit, and unrestrained audacity. Purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The four ages described in these verses are manifestations of various modes of material nature. The age of truth, Satya Yuga, manifests the predominance of material goodness, and Kali Yuga manifests the predominance of ignorance, according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Within each age, other three ages occasionally manifest as sub-ages. Thus, even within Satyuga, a demon in the mode of ignorance may appear, and within the age of Kali, the highest religious principles may flourish for some time. As described in Srimad Bhagwatam, the three modes of nature are present everywhere and in everything, but the predominant mode or combination of modes determines the general character of any material phenomenon in each age. Therefore, the three modes are present in varying proportions. The particular age represented by goodness, Satya, passion, Treta, passion and ignorance, Dwapar, or ignorance, Kali, exist within each of the other ages as a sub-factor. The word truth means perform or executed. Thus, in the age of truth, all religious duties are duly performed, and people take great pleasure in spiritual knowledge and austerity. Even in the Kali Yuga, those who are situated in the mode of goodness take pleasure in the cultivation of spiritual knowledge and the regulated performance of austerity. This sublime state of existence is possible for one who has conquered sex desire. In Kali Yuga, people are almost exclusively devoted to gross materialism with hardly any affinity for self-realization. In the age of Kali, certain pseudo-intellectual seeking individual freedom support sexual promiscuity. In fact, identification of the self with the body and the pursuit of individual freedom in the body rather than in the soul are signs of the most dismal ignorance and slavery to lust. When women are unchaste, many children are born out of wedlock as products of lust. These children grow up in psychologically unfavorable circumstances and a neurotic, ignorant society arises. Symptoms of this are already manifest throughout the world. Many large cities are unsafe at night. For example, it is understood that no sane person will walk in New York Central Park at night because he knows he will almost certainly be mugged. Apart from ordinary thieves who abound in this age, large cities are filled with cutthroat businessmen and who enthusiastically convince people to purchase and consume useless or even harmful products. It has been well documented that vape, tobacco, liquor, and many other modern products destroy one's physical health. What to speak of mental health? And yet, modern capitalists do not hesitate to use every psychological trick in the book to convince people to consume these things. Modern cities are full of mental and atmospheric pollution, and even ordinary citizens are finding them unbearable. This verse also points out that the teachings of the Vedic scripture will be distorted in this age. Great universities teach courses on Hinduism, in which Indian religion, despite limitless evidence to the contrary, is describing as polytheist and leading to an impersonal salvation. In fact, all Vedic literature is a unified whole, as stated by Lord Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita 15.15. Vedechi sarvayam evedya, by all the Vedas, Krishna, am I am to be known. All Vedic literature is meant for enlightening us about the Supreme Personal Absolute Truth, Vishnu or Krishna. Although known by many names and appearing in many forms, God is a single absolute entity and he is person. But this true Vedic understanding is hidden in the Kali Yuga. In this verse, Shukdev astutely observes that Political leaders will virtually consume the citizen, and the so-called priests and intellectuals will be devotees of their bellies and genitals. How sadly true this statement is. Brahmacharya, celibate, student life is practically non-existent in the age of Kali. In America, many boys' schools have become co-educational because young men frankly refuse to live without the constant of lusty young girls. Also, we have personally observed throughout the Western world that student residents are among the dirtiest places on earth, as predicted here by the word ashaucha. Concerning householder beggars, when devotees of the Lord go door to door distributing transcendental literature and requesting donations for the propagation of God's glories, irritated householders commonly reply, "Someone should give me a donation." Householders in Kali Yuga are not charitable. Instead, because of their miserly mentality, they become irritated when spiritual medicants approach them. In Vedic culture, at the age of 50, couples retire to sacred places for austere life and spiritual perfection. In countries like America, where retirement cities have been constructed wherein elderly people can make fools of themselves by wasting the last years of their lives playing golf, ping pong, and shuffleboard, and by engaging in pathetic attempts at love affairs, even while their bodies are horribly rotting and their minds are growing senile. This shameless abuse of the venerable last years of life denotes a stubborn unwillingness to acknowledge the actual purpose of human life and is certainly an offense against God. The words Nyasino Earth Atyartha Lolupa indicate that charismatic religious leaders and even those who are not charismatic will proclaim themselves prophets, saints, and incarnation to cheat the innocent public and pattern their bank accounts. Therefore, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is working earnestly to establish bona fide celibate student life, religious holders life dignified and progressive retirement, and genuine spiritual leadership for the entire world. Today, May 9, 1982, in the sensual city of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, we have awarded Sannyasa, the renounced order of life, to three young men, who Brazilians and one American, with the sincere hope that they will faithfully execute the rigid vows of renounced life and provide authentic spiritual leadership in South America. Thus end the purpose. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवान् च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितान् च नमो ॐ विष्णु पादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देशतारिणे वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. We continuing the Srimad Bhagwatam, Canto 12, Chapter 3, the Bhumi Git. Now, shloka from 26 to 34. In this shloka, they describe about the three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. How they overlap one another. When is Satya Yuga? What is his symptoms of Satya Yuga? Treta, goodness, passion, and ignorance. And when the is goodness, that the time of the Satya Yuga, then in passion, that what that time both are mixing, what that time, and in Tamo Yuga, that is Kali Yuga, like that they're describing detail in this shloka. Prabhuji will tell you in detail. Hare Krishna. Dandot Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhecha कृपा सिंधु एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Hare Krishna. Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. So we are seeing how across the three yugas, across the four yugas, the three modes of passion, ignorance, and goodness, they are available in different and varying intensities. And that is how the yugas also get identified with the different three gunas. So this study of natural history will lead us to the conclusion that all worldly achievements are temporary. And so we'll start thinking about renunciation. The highest goal for life is pure devotion to Lord Krishna, because that is something which will annihilate all inauspiciousness. So we see that in the age of Satya, religion was complete. So it had all the four legs, TMAC: truth, mercy, austerity, charity. And then with each age, one additional quarter got diminished. So in Kali Yuga, three-fourth is destroyed. So goodness was predominant during Satyuga, passion during Treta Yuga, mixed passion and ignorance in Dwapar, and in Kali, ignorance is predominant. Atheism, the smallness and inferiority of all things, devotion to belly, genitals, they are evident in the age of Kali. And so the living entities are completely contaminated by the influence of Kali, and they do not worship the Supreme Lord, Sri Hari, even though they can be freed from all bondage and achieve the supreme destination simply by chanting the glories of his name and taking his shelter. But then that is what Kali Yuga is meant to be. Here everyone is going to be greedy, ill-behaved, merciless. They are going to be fighting with one another without even reason. Unfortunate and obsessed with material desires, all of us are only Shudras and barbarians. So, this is something which we need to understand. See, if our mind, intelligence, senses, they get fixed in mode of goodness, then we can think about truth. We can take pleasure in knowledge and austerity. But when the souls are devoted to duties but have ulterior motives, seeking personal prestige, then it is function of passion. When greed, dissatisfaction, pride, hypocrisy, envy, they become prominent, and selfishness, then it means that both passion and ignorance are working together. But the moment there is predominance of cheating, lying, sleepiness, violence, depression, lamentation, bewilderment, fear, poverty, then this is all indicative of ignorance. So because of all these bad qualities of the age of Kali, the humans will become short-sighted, lustful, poverty-stricken. Even the women will become unchaste. And it is predicted that they will freely wander from one man to other. Cities will be dominated by thieves. Even Vedas will be contaminated by speculative interpretations. All the political leaders will consume the citizens, and the intellectuals will be devotees of only bellies and genitals. Even brahmacharis will fail to execute the vows and become unclean. Householders who are supposed to be earning and supporting, giving donations, will become beggars. Vanaprasthas, instead of going across, they'll be living in villages. And even sannyasis will become greedy for wealth. The size of women will become smaller. They will eat too much. There will be more children, is what it is predicted in future. And there won't be any kind of a shyness or coyness. The women will speak harshly. There will be thievery, deceit, audacity. So this Kali Yuga, it's only going to bring about more and more destructions. And then the stage will come when the cycle will again go back to Satyuga. So this is very important to understand all these aspects. Because if you don't understand it and we don't act today, then we will also be part of this thing which is happening. We will fall prey to those pseudo intellectuals who are trying to seek individual freedom, but then supporting uncleanliness. In fact, even the identification of the self with the body and pursuit of individual freedom in the body are signs of ignorance as slavery to lust. When women are unchaste, the children born out of wedlock are products of lust. So these children grow up psychologically unfavorable circumstances and we'll be having a neurotic, ignorant society. And we can see these changes already happening, even in India, even in smaller cities nowadays. Large cities are definitely unsafe at night. But even smaller cities, we find such things happening. Today, there were elections in many parts of the nation, and we see how bogus voting has taken place. The person was narrating how a girl who was a first time voter went and she was so excited to cast her vote for the first time. And after showing all her proofs, when she was actually about to give vote, she noticed that someone had already voted in her name. So this falsifications, thievery is going to only keep on increasing. And it's not only ordinary thieves. Large cities are filled with cutthroat businessmen. And they are doing so much of marketing, they can convince people to purchase and consume even useless and harmful products. So just look at it, tobacco, liquor. Are they good for health? No. But then they are marketed. Let's take example of tea, something which is inhibited. And they've started marketing it as green tea. So it's all going to destroy one's physical health, mental health, but no one hesitates to stop them. We have seen the recent Supreme Court order against misleading ads for healthcare, diseases, and cures. And this is what this verse is predicting 5,000 years ago. So, this is the strength of our Vedas, of our history, which we need to understand. In fact, many people nowadays have started trying to learn Vedic scriptures, but then the teachings are getting distorted. Universities are running courses on Hinduism, but then giving knowledge which is contrary to evidence. So this is what we have to understand, because Krishna himself declares, Vedesha sarve aham eva vedya. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. So if the universities are not teaching this, then it is completely wrong. And that is why we have to become more and more strong. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us this very important responsibility of ensuring that the knowledge spreads everywhere, in every nook and corner of the world. Grame, grame. And that is possible when we start speaking about Krishna to everyone. Chare dekho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. Because even brahmacharis, the celibate students, they are not going to be able to remain clean as predicted by the word ashaucha. Householders who are supposed to give donations, because of the paucity, they themselves will become beggars. But again, material donations are not important. The best donation is about how to identify your real true self. That can be the best donations. And that is why book distribution, sharing of the videos, that is the best kind of a donation which any person can give. In one of these shlokas, we are talking about Nyasino Atyarthalolupaha. So it means that even the charismatic religious leaders, they'll proclaim themselves as saints, incarnations. And that is why Krishna showed his universal form. So all these things are about to come. We'll continue the discussions tomorrow onwards. Let us keep joining on time. Hare Krishna.